So functions. In Python, you need to define your functions. So it starts with the keyword def. Hello world, which is going to be the name of the function. Then you need to be, you're going to have the parameters. Let me backtrack a little bit. Functions are going to be, they can be called functions or methods. It's something that you're going to use to have X amount of code or a specific code together. That is, it does something, it has a specific function. So something that you need to do, maybe it's a function that calculates taxes, or it's a function that it encapsulates a logic that you maybe don't need to access all the time. So you just access the function and it does that for you. Okay, so the functions have a name and have some parameters and usually return something. Not all the time, but they can return something, and not all the time they have parameters as well, but some need, some can have some. Def keyword, name of the function, and then the parentheses. Here are going to come the arguments. So let's see, maybe we have a text that is going to be our argument. Okay, and again, column, just to start. It will automatically set the cursor to the right position. So here we can have anything that we want. We can have conditionals, we can have variables, constants, anything that we saw before, but just together. So let's see that we want a condition that says if our text is equal to hello world, again, you can have parentheses, you cannot have them, whatever you want. In my case, I'm used to have parentheses, so it's more organized, the condition that we have. If our text is hello world, let's just go ahead and print it. Print hello world, print our text in the console. But if it is not, in any other condition that the text is not hello world, then what we want to do is just maybe also print some text that says I don't like it, because it is expecting hello world. Any first function, any first code that you do should return hello world. Why? I don't know. Old tradition that people like to do. So that's it. Hello world, the parameters. Okay, let's look at the function just for a second. The parameter just has a name. You can have many parameters. You can have text, number, my name, whatever you want, any amount of parameters that you want, you can receive in a function. They just have a name, they don't need to have a type. Python will infer the type of the parameter, of the argument. Then we have a conditional that is evaluating some text against the argument that we have, which is text in this case. And see, anytime that we have a condition or we have the column, it will move us one tab to the right. If for some reason I had another condition here, let's say if 1 is equal to 1, which is always going to be true, right? And enter again, one tab, 1, 2, 3 tabs. Every time that you have something, it will move you one step to the right. And every time that you finish this block of code, it will move you one step to the left, which is what happens here after print. Okay, that's it. And then we have an else, which is going to give us the other text in case it doesn't, the condition is not true. And we can have a return value if we want. Okay, the return value is going to be whatever you want. Again, in Python there is no really any limitation with this. You can return a list, you can return a variable, anything, the same argument that you're receiving. So I'm going to have something that is called result. This is a variable that's going to be called result, and result is going to be 0. And if it enters here, result is going to be 1. This is just an example. Result, I need to write the name correctly. Result is 0, result is 1, and at the end I just want to have to return result, and that's it. This value, the print value, is something that you are only going to see in your console. It's for testing and for examples, stuff like that. The return is going to be the value that you're actually using in the function. If you have, for example, calculate taxes, you have your function that calculates taxes and returns a number. That number that you're going to store in a variable, you're going to do whatever, is going to be what's here in return, in result. This prints everything that you do is just or logic or just something for testing. And the last step will be to call the function. If you want to call the function, just type the name of the function. See, actually this is pretty cool. You see, the moment that I wrote the parentheses, that I type the parentheses, it shows me actually what's the argument that it is expecting and what it's going to return. In this case, it's going to be 0 or 1 because that's what we have, the two options that we have. And then let's use a text that says hello, right? In this case, it should not, it shouldn't give us, it shouldn't evaluate the first condition to true. It should say text is not the same as hello world. So you will go to the else and print I don't like it, and the result should be 0. And we can actually just go ahead and run this. I don't like it. Okay, so why are we not seeing the value 0? Because the function is actually giving us the value, but there is nobody to save the value, to store the value. So if we want to see if it's a 0 or 1, we need to save it somewhere. So let's say the result is going to be called the variable that we are going to use. The result hello world. Now the result is going to have 0 or 1, and if we want to see that, just go ahead and print it in the console. We could also have just print this, took hello world and put it inside the print. It's basically the same, but usually if you have a function, you're going to store the value somewhere. So that's more of a more accurate way to do it. Okay, so here we have I don't like it, value 0. That's it. And let's see, let's go ahead and change this for the final run. Our very first program that says hello world. Run it. And there we have it. Hello world with the value 1, because it evaluated true in this condition. So it updated the value of result. It printed the text that we had, which is hello world, and then it stored the value here in result and then printed the value, the return value, which is 1. And yeah, that's basically it. That's a function. That's what we saw. While for loops, conditionals, some variables, some very basic things that you can do with indexing, some basic built-in types and built-in structures that you can use. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I don't know if any of you have any questions or something that I may be able to help you, or I don't know, any questions at all, any positive, negative feedback, whatever you want to say. Again, Python is not my main language. It's just the first one that I learned. And I think it's a very cool, useful tool that you can have in many different scenarios, in many different projects. I think Python is one of the easiest languages to actually start and finish a project with. I don't know why. I think people that use... The first example that comes to my mind is Michael Reeves. He programs most of his stuff in Python, and it's stuff that it's robotic related, and also like, for example, the piece jar or piece bot that he had is or the piece measurement something was like web or something like that. It sent something web, and it was also written something in Python. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have for today, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not wrong. So I really thank you very much for watching. I hope somebody learned something. So thank you.